And I'm listening to the front runner on the other side talk. And Donald Trump is not only, it's 7 times he's now confused Biden and Obama, which should put him in the mental acuity outhouse there, right? He can't find his pants, at least like Biden.
Lone Fox News liberal Jessica Tarlov just debunked one of the right-wing media's favorite methods to make fun of Joe Biden. And here's how her co-host reacted when she flat out called out their hypocrisy.
But this is what the man tweets out.
What does this have to do, though?
Because you're talking about the leadership that we're seeing, and then
we're talking about Kamala and Joe.
She's the right. And I'm saying that all of this for people is contextualized in light of elections. And what is on the other side of this matters to people. That's how there are lots of Jews, right, who can't make a decision.
I'm not talking about Biden and I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about something bigger that is happening in this country that puts your life at risk.
I understand that, and I certainly deeply feel that. But this segment is about Kamala Harris, who is an elected official and who said that.
Who would have guessed the other host wouldn't defend the First Amendment rights of protesters, regardless of how they personally felt about the protest, just like Tarlov explained. But this isn't the only time that Tarlov has flipped the tables on her co-hosts of The Five and turned their criticism of Biden into a major diss on Trump.
Okay, you don't need to watch him. Let's just hear what comes out of his mouth. And I put together some of Trump's latest cognitive beauties from the last 10 days. He said you need an ID to buy bread. Has anyone shown ID to get Wonder Bread lately?
But to get in to vote, if you buy groceries, if you buy practically anything now, you have ID on a card, credit cards or otherwise.
He said that he ran against Obama in 2016. He ran against Hillary Clinton.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. We beat Hillary Clinton.
He warned that Biden will get us into World War II, which I'm pretty sure we already fought and won.
We would be in World War II very quickly if we're going to be relying on this man.
He confused Jeb Bush and George W. Bush and said that Jeb got us involved in the Middle East.
When I came here, everyone thought Bush was going to win. And then they took a poll and they found out Trump was up by about 50 points. Everyone said, what's going on right here? They thought Bush, because Bush supposedly was a military person. Great. You know what? He was a military. He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right? But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb. Remember Jeb? He used the word Jeb. He didn't use the word Bush. I said, you mean he's ashamed of the last name? And then they immediately started using the name Bush.
And saying that he's going to investigate media companies that he doesn't like. You know, and can you imagine if Biden said, you know what, I'm going to look into that Fox News. They don't seem to like me over there.
This may be the choice that people have. Yeah. Trump versus Biden. Laid bare here, Jesse.
At least Trump can say LL Cool J, Jessica.
Are you
in a prompter?
ID to buy bread.
Biden has to stay upright and Trump has to stay out of prison.
You look at those clips and you say, how in the world is this man mentally fit to be the Republican nominee, let alone the president again in 2024 or for the 2024 election? What? And what I love the most in the argument is when somebody crushes their opponent by taking the emotion out of it and just hits them with straight up facts and receipts. And that is exactly what Tarlov does, one by one by one. And what could our co-host say? Oh, at least Trump knows LL Cool J. Classic case of them deflecting. And the thing is, hypocrisy and denying things have been hallmarks of Republican politics for so many years. And that is what Fox viewers have been accustomed to supporting with these Republicans and those ideas. And look, we've been talking about Trump's cognitive decline for a while now, but a recent slew of gaffes in the past few months, especially in context with how Republicans treat Biden's age, really highlight, or I should say, really expose how Trump is not as sharp as he used to be. And quite frankly, I don't know if he ever was sharp to begin with.
Viktor Orban. Did anybody ever hear of him? Probably, considered very powerful within his country and outside of his country. Not exactly loved by some of the European nations. They were interviewing him 2 weeks ago, and they said, what would you advise President Obama? The whole world seems to be exploding and imploding. And he said, it's very simple. He should immediately resign, and they should replace him with President Trump, who kept the world safe. And I'm not just talking the United States. China respected him. Russia respected him. North Korea respected him. And he used another word other than respect, who he said fear. But I don't want to use that word. Viktor Orban. Did anybody ever hear of Viktor Orban? He's the head of Hungary. Hungary fronts on both Ukraine and Russia.
For the, I don't know, 500, maybe 700th time, MAGA supporters are telling on themselves by cheering for a bona fide fascist and Viktor Orban. They are completely oblivious to what they're supporting because anything Trump says, they will cheer. If he wants them to boo, they will boo it. If he wants them to applaud it, they will applaud it. That is why it's a cult. And that's why cults are so dangerous, because they are not connected to reality. They are connected to the craziness and the absurdity of Trump. Whatever he says, that is what they're going to stand on. Legit. That's it. Never mind all that, though. It really irritates my soul that we are still talking about Trump as a potential candidate for the 2024 presidential election, even though he's got all these charges stacked up against him and he's been convicted of different crimes. Why do I think Fox News has her on, even though she be embarrassing the heck out of her co-host sometimes? I think to give the impression, give the illusion that they play both sides and see, like, we're not all bad, right? We have our token liberal who is going to stand up for Democrats and a different point of view. But the reality is that's not going to get through to anybody when you have 5 or 6 voices who are putting out one narrative on the conservative Republican side, opposed to just one person, and Jessica, who has a completely different perspective. At this point, I think it's just for show, because we know what Fox News is about, what their bread and butter is, and what they stand for. So it doesn't matter if you have one voice up there, shoot, even put 2 voices. We know what the jig is.